Hello, welcome back. My name is Jo. It is halfway through 2025, which is absolutely crazy, but we are here. It is July 1st. I did film a quarter one review wrap-up kind of thing, so that will be linked below. So as far as books, my cat has the zoomies. I spent a lot of quarter two in a very heavy book slump, which is not good because I already wasn't having like a great year as far as reading goes, but we are out of it now. We have returned to the land of the living. As of now, I have read 15 books in Spanish this year. Includes audiobooks, children's books, whatever. That is 62.5% of my total reading for the year. And then as far as my specific reading challenges for this year, I had a 25 and 25 challenge where I had picked 25 books to specifically try to read this year as kind of a partial TBR. I did pick specific books, but obviously it's possible to switch those around, and some of them I either have picked a different book by the same author, or some of them I might just switch out entirely, but regardless, that is not going particularly well because I've only finished 5 books off that list. I do have a couple others kind of in progress, so hopefully that will pick up soon. I am still trying to read from every Spanish-speaking country, although that project has been kind of on pause accidentally for quite a while, but it is back in motion now, and I have read from 7 out of 22 countries, so that's 32%. Most of those were done quite some time ago, so we're gonna pick that back up. So yeah, again, reading isn't where it would normally be at this time of year, but also that's totally fine, and that's also like a very personal thing. Like, everybody reads, differently, different amounts, enjoys different things. So back in the reading groove the past couple weeks, and so I think that we should be back in motion for the rest of the year. Movies, again, have picked this back up again recently. Wasn't doing a lot of watching things prior to the past month this year. So I have watched 3 movies in Spanish this year. I have really been enjoying this because I've been struggling to find shows that I have been really engaged with. And so I think movies can be a nice way to, although it's longer usually, than one episode of a show, it's, a self-contained story. So I am also kind of behind on this for what I normally would. I was kind of surprised actually because I don't normally aim for any particular goal or even really proactively try to watch movies in Spanish, but I was surprised to see that actually I have watched an even amount of movies in the past. I have kind of a trend, only 2 years, but in 2023 I watched 11 movies in Spanish, and in 2024 I watched 12 movies in Spanish. So ordinarily I am kind of watching, one a month on average. That's definitely not how I'm actually doing it, and these are movies made in Spanish, by the way. I do watch a lot of things dubbed in Spanish, but these are specifically ones that were made in Spanish. And then other than that, did pass the DELE exam, so there is a video talking a little bit about that, but that had been one of the things that was on my goal to do for this year, was to at least take the exam. And obviously last update I knew that I had taken the exam, but I did not know whether that had been successful or not, and it was, so that's very exciting. German. I have actually this month again successfully picked up German. So I've read 2 books in German. They were both graded readers, so super short, but I am still counting them in my reading. It's been really, really fun to pick that back up, and I am excited to keep going, hopefully. From my last video, I had some kind of soft goals, some ideas of where I wanted to take quarter 2, so we can talk about those. I wanted to up my input again because I could tell that I was kind of falling off on proactively seeking out Spanish content. I do think that I did that. Again, I was kind of in a slump in April, but I still, over the quarter, definitely increased my input, and I think we're back to where it feels very natural to listen to a Spanish podcast instead of an English podcast, find something in Spanish to watch the majority of the days, stuff like that. And obviously reading helps with that too. I also wanted to reintroduce grammar study a little bit after taking a little break. I have done this, but not as much as I want to. I've only done it a tiny bit and I want to get back to it. Picking up writing again, this I haven't done at all. I barely have written anything in Spanish this quarter, hardly at all. And making more videos in Spanish. This one I both did and did not do because I have not published any videos in Spanish. I did film 2 videos in Spanish, I think. I think I'm confused on how I want to proceed with things on my channel because I have somewhat considered starting a Spanish channel, but I don't know that I want to commit to that yet, and I also don't know that it would be super watchable yet. If I don't make a Spanish channel, then I feel like my videos should still relate to the topic at hand here on my channel. Which I don't always feel like making Spanish videos about that. So I just haven't figured out the right way to go about this, if it is even something I want to pursue at all. So I'm not sure. This one is kind of tabled for now. Moving forward from this, I do have a lot of things that I'm really excited about for the rest of this year. I started the reading challenge that I have a video about on my other channel that will incorporate a lot of things that I was already, trying to do more proactively, like reading more books in Spanish, doing the reading around the Spanish speaking world challenge, lots of things that I'm super excited about. So that has really been a helpful motivator, catalyst for continuing to read more and to seek out more different kinds of books and more cultural connections with those books. So that has been really great. Very excited to keep going with that. I won't finish that this year because it's this, year-long thing that I started in June. So we'll get halfway-ish through it. So mostly for right now, for this very moment, I mostly just want to keep moving forward with everything that we've already talked about. More input, more grammar study, more writing and speaking. I really just need to keep going. I am toying with the idea of taking the C1 exam at some point next year. I really don't know how I'm going to feel, how progress is going to go, that sort of thing. This is a question I had asked if anybody had anything that they wanted, updates on or anything, and Victoria Study Notepad had asked how I felt about language exams. Do I think that they are good for learners, etc.? And I think it super depends. I think there was a point in my language learning journey where it would have been bad for me to try to study for it. I think it would have harmed my motivation. And while this one, I certainly felt super stressful, especially in the context of living in a Spanish-speaking country for the first time and also having, some negative experiences around speaking Spanish. I think I made it into something much bigger than it needed to be. So I think that it will be easier to not have that baggage in the future. And for me, I think moving forward, they are potentially going to be really useful for me because it gives you some kind of motivation, some kind of external gratification or reward. Obviously, it could be considered a punishment as well, but if you're the one choosing to do it, then I think you can use it as a positive tool. It can also obviously be a negative. With that in mind, I'm also thinking about German, which obviously, I'm in A1 at this point. I'm not wanting to take a really low level exam. So I'm thinking about a longer term goal within 2 years or something, taking the B2 German exam. But that's all going to depend a lot on context and how much time I'm able to dedicate to studying. Really may not be able to do that, but I am putting out feelers into the idea of kind of using that as a motivator, a way to stay dedicated to studying, but we shall see. I thought that I would have an opportunity to use German this summer, but I do not think that's actually going to happen now, so it's just going to be self-motivated, but I actually have been pretty motivated to study, so hopefully that will continue. I also want to get better at socializing in Spanish. I think I have been getting significantly better the past month specifically because I've had more opportunity to talk to people outside of the school that I was working at, which I found to be quite a like stressful, high pressure environment. Not that other people were putting that on me, I was putting that on me, but I definitely want to get better about integrating more into the community, doing more actual activities. And then maybe kind of the last point is something that I've been thinking about the past few days or week, because I've been watching a lot of video essays about consumerism. While I've been like cleaning my apartment and getting ready to move and stuff, I've just had stuff on in the background, and a lot of people have been talking about like coloring book TikTok, and how so much of it seems to be about performing the hobby rather than actually enjoying the hobby, and how that can also bleed over into obviously book spaces, any kind of hobby space. It can become about the performance of the hobby rather than the actual hobby. And so I was trying to evaluate whether I do that with language learning. Like if I'm vlogging or if I'm not vlogging, like does my language learning look different? It does, but I don't think it does significantly, because I've always kind of used vlogging as like a way to keep myself going with studying. Not that it's the only thing that keeps me going for sure, but as a kind of, like they go hand in hand. It's like a nice symbiotic relationship, I guess you could say. But I was trying to think of like, if I knew that I was never going to make another YouTube video, would my studying habits and stuff significantly change? Like, not would I study more or less, but like, would the things I was doing change? And I don't think it would significantly. I think mostly because I am not a good YouTuber. Like I don't have the discipline necessary to do something that I do not want to do long term in order to make content about it. Like that's just not gonna be me. And I also don't even have the discipline to like, or the desire to like make high quality vlogs in a way that like harms my hobbies, my study, my daily life. Like, sorry guys, I don't care that much about the footage that I get. Like, along with other decisions that I've made about my channel, is just something that I've decided that like I am fine with like poor quality, because this is just more important to me. So yeah, anyway, that was like kind of a bunny trail that's not directly related, but it has been something that I've been thinking about, and I want to continue thinking about it because I do think it's valuable. Like maybe vlogging like 2 weeks out of the month and not vlogging the other, and seeing how that makes a difference or doesn't. I don't know, just something to think about. But looking forward to future things, I do not feel like plateaued like I did for so long. Really all I need to do is just actually do the thing. Like I know what I need to do, I just need to actually do the things. So that's a good place to be in, I think. Thank you for watching. Let me know how your language learning has been going, and I will see you in the next video.